Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. As always, I'm joined by Alan and Kat. How are you both doing?
Much better after that game.
Alan?
It's been a good day of football, so yeah, the results today have been favourable for us, so it's a good day.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll start with the news that Joe gave us during the week, Alan. Obviously, we knew that we had quite a few injuries, which is finally kind of confirmed who is actually injured. Libby is still with us, has had a hamstring injury. Kirsty was her knee. Kirsty Hill, I think, was her knee.
I believe it's a meniscus injury.
Yeah, I think that was the same with Rachel and Eddie as well, but Rachel and Eddie have had a bit of surgery, so will be a bit longer. Libby should be back fairly soon. Kirsty Howard should be back in a cup final time, but good to finally get some confirmation on where the players have been.
Absolutely, it's nice to actually hear some updates. We've talked about it pretty much every week that we'd like to hear more of that. So it's good that the question have been asked and actually we've got some answers, because we see how light the bench is every week, and you're wincing every time somebody goes down, worried that maybe somebody else will do it. But it's nice to see some of the players are getting closer to a return.
You can, especially when we're getting into this really busy period, league games, cup games, obviously the final coming up. So good to kind of get these players back sooner rather than later. I think Kirsty McLean's going to be the longest kind of long-term one.
Yeah, that's the one that we didn't want. Not that we want any of them to be out any length of time, but Kirsty was one we were hoping she'd be back quite quickly and kind of help us a wee bit. But looks like it's going to be a wee while, which it's frustrating. But I think everyone else has kind of stepped up in their absence, have really kind of done enough to get us through these games. So it's nice that we're getting those answers, though, because how many times have we sat here and said it'd be nice to know what's going on rather than having to ask the players themselves. So it's nice that whether that was Joe's idea or the club's idea, I don't know, but nice to get those answers. So hopefully get, Rachel and Libby back soon, and then following weeks, a couple of other ones back, and then we'll see where we are in time for hopefully Kirsty getting back in a few months.
Yeah, and hopefully no more injuries after that either, because I think we've had our share this season. Also, not announced by the club, but we did get some clarity on Michelle Coulson. Alan, she announced herself that she's stepped away from football to kind of work on her business venture and other things away from football. She's kind of, as she said, left the party while she's still enjoying it. So obviously we wish her the best, but good to finally get some kind of clarity on where she actually has been.
Yeah, I think anybody sort of following Michelle on social media maybe read between the lines a wee bit, where it seemed that she has kind of fallen out of love a wee bit with the game, and listen, that happens with players, and she's obviously taking steps to sort of deal with that, so that it doesn't get and become a burden for her. So she's set herself up with a wee sort of business, and we wish her all the best. She always conducted herself really well with the club, and was a credit to herself. So we'll wish her the best and see how she gets on with that.
Yep, definitely. So, back to the football now. We did have our 16s playing today in the Scottish Cup kind of final thing against Celtic. So a wee old firm, just because you can't get enough of those, clearly. And we were victorious, 3-1. We won after extra time. I believe it was Natalie Bandura and I think it was Erin O'Brien that scored the goal. So good to get a win, a cup, and obviously beating that mob.
It certainly is, and it's obviously just like another credit to the academy with how well the youngsters are doing. It's really good that they were in the final and they went out and won it. So it's nice to see that we've got the next Mia McCauley's and Laura Berry's and Kirsty McLean's out there ready to potentially make the step up and are being a credit to the club. It's exactly what we want. So it's nice to say. Shame it clashed. The game clashed with our game. I think a lot of people were going to go to the original game and then it got postponed because of the weather, which is a bit frustrating. But it's just good to see. It's always good to beat them. Doesn't matter what age group or men or women, whatever it is. It's always good to beat them, and to win a cup on the back of it is just tremendous work for them. So massive congratulations to them and their families and all the hard work they put into to get to that point.
Absolutely. And then the main event of the day, Alan, was a trip through to Meadowbank, because what a wonderful place that is. A good day through there, though. I think probably one of our better games through there. So we started with Jenna Fife in goals, Nick Dock, Cathy Hill, Tess Badag in defence as kind of usual. We had Rachel Rowe, Mia McCauley, Chelsea Cornett, and Liv McLaughlin in the midfield, and then Jane Ross and Sarah Ewens up front. I read that really weird, so that I don't know if
You also missed Jodie out, so you're making out we started with 10 players.
I should just read it the way it's actually written, but anyway. So what did you think of the team anyway? At least you were listening.
Yeah, I was listening, so I was pleased to see a change out wide. I think we could do with the energy brought in with Jodie and Mia in the wings. So I do think Brogan's been playing really well, so it was a wee bit harsh on Brogan dropping it, but I think out the four of the wide players, Mia McCauley has really nailed herself on. She's got to be the first pick. She's the easiest one to pick out the four wingers because she's absolutely flying right now. Wee bit surprised to see Rio starting the bench. You know, that was probably the sort of headline in the team, but I was happy enough with the team.
Yeah, Karen, touching on that, Rio, we were kind of surprised at that as well, and especially after Jane had been away with Scotland to the Pinnater Cup, which we'll not even bother mentioning. It was kind of surprising. We thought Rio was kind of had a rest, so you'd think she would come back in, but no, Jane and Sarah starting up front.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always nice to have rotation, but we did kind of expect Rio would be the first name there because she was struggling a little bit, had a wee bit of a break. You think she'd be champing it a bit to come in and get a few goals, but Joe made that decision, and guess maybe Rio had said, that's fine, I'm not bothered, it's for the team, whatever, but, you know, maybe it would have been a bit better had she started, but it doesn't really matter in the end as long as we get the result that we need to, but hopefully next week that'll then be another rotation, give other players a rest and other players can get some minutes. Even though we're a bit light on the bench, we don't have as many options to replace them with. But as Alan says, Mia needs to be in the team every week. Just she's such a credit to the club on what she's done. It's incredible. Nice for Sarah to get some minutes, I suppose, but it's looking a little bit like I would have preferred Rio to be in there beside Jane, to be honest.
Yeah, so the game kicked off, Alan. It was typical kind of Rangers Hibs, bit stuffy. Kind of, we had some chances, they had a couple of chances, but it was just kind of both teams kind of getting back into the swing after the break.
Yeah, I think after two disappointing results and drawing the last two games before the break, you know, the break had came at a good time for us, which is probably the first international break that we've had this season that has actually came at a good time. But I thought, considering those last results, we actually started the game really well. It was a bit stuffy and a bit sort of back and forth, but I thought largely we started the game well and we looked really up for it. So I was quite pleased, though we didn't really get too many chances early on at goal. No anything clear cut that really troubled the keeper, at least.
Yeah, it was. Are you surprised it kind of took so long to get the first goal? Because it was kind of like 27 minutes before we got that first goal, which we'll come to. But there was chances like Rachel Rowe was kind of breaking lines, Mia was breaking lines, but I'd say Jane and Sarah were kind of out of position, no kind of going onto the balls as much as like you would expect Jane Ross to do, kind of when she comes into the near post and that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really surprised. Hibs have always been a team for us that we kind of struggle against. They're very good defensively at, snuffing out any of our chances that we were creating. So, as you say, we're getting them out wide and then putting balls into the box and they were just snuffing them out or they were going wide or what have you. But we did start really bright, which I wanted to see rather than us just throwing balls over the top. and hoping that it would land to someone. We were trying something a bit different, which was nice to see after the last, 2 draws that we didn't really have that many chances. It's just one of those games against Hibs that we just took a wee while, but Alan said, I think it was Alan said during the game when the goal did come, that probably is the quickest goal we've had against Hibs in recent away games against them. So probably wasn't too surprising, but worked out quite well in the end.
Yeah, but then the first goal did come through who else but Mia McCauley. A lovely ball. Well, I think there was quite a good bit of work done by Liv McLaughlin beforehand, and then she kind of gets it off to Rachel Rowe, and it's pretty much a carbon copy of the goal Mia scored against Celtic, Alan.
In terms of the sort of the ball that was eventually played through to Mia and Mia's run and cutting inside and finishing in across the keeper, it was very reminiscent of the goal she scored at Ibrox 2 weeks ago. But the through ball for Rachel Rowe was just unbelievable. If Messi plays that ball, people will be talking about that for weeks and weeks. How she actually seen that and managed to thread that through was brilliant, and I'm looking forward to seeing a replay on repeat of that. But the ball goes through to Mia, and you've just absolutely no doubt that that's got to find the back of the net. Mia's is she even 18 yet, and she's just got ice in her veins when she goes through and goal. It's brilliant to see.
Yeah, definitely. So, then we've got to kind of touch on Kathy Hill here. What a warrior she is. There was Hibs obviously did have quite a few chances. Jenna was making a few saves, which I'm sure you'll want to talk about. But Kathy Hill, we thought that she'd actually clattered her face off the post, but it turned out to be her knee, which has a lovely big shiner on it that she showed us after the game. But what an absolute warrior to batter off the post, get it up, dust yourself in, and just play on.
And she was doing it all game. She was getting really stuck in with tackles, and then that one looked a nasty one. We all thought she'd hit her head and was knocked out because she was just lying still, and the medical staff come running over, didn't know what was going on. But then she gets up and she goes and grabs the ball for the free kick, and is like, "What? I'm staying on. This is no bother." And then after the game, you saw her knee, and it's awful red and sore looking. But it's just what Kathy does, isn't it? Her performances compared to last season have been night and day. She's just absolutely been tremendous the last couple of games. Defensively, going forward, everything. She's just really, grabbed the opportunity as the kind of sole centre back with both hands, and it's just been so good. But as you say, a warrior nonetheless. You think I'll go and take me off, put Lisa on, and I'll take a wee rest. But she wasn't for having that. She was, I'm going again. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
Yep. So we went in half time, 1-0 up, Alan. What did you kind of make of the first half?
As Carl was saying, I'd spoke about it being quite early for us to have scored at Meadowbank, so I was pleased that we were actually getting in at half time in the lead, but I thought we were good value for it, and probably on the balance of play, unlucky not to go in maybe two up, but it was a really good first half, a good response to dropping points in the last couple of games, and first came back after the break, which can be quite a tough one to play. So very happy at half time.
And then we come out kind of second half. I think maybe had a couple of chances again, and then Rio comes on for Jane and pretty much has a instant impact and gets us 2-0 up.
It's exactly what everyone wanted, especially her. I'm assuming, straight back on the pitch. Lovely ball. It's a long ball over the top. I think it's from Nick. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Lovely. Sarah Ewens, I think, is the intended target. And then Rio gets the ball, and it's just at the near post. The keeper really should be saving that, but we'll take nothing away from Rio. She made a fantastic shot, and exactly what she would have wanted, to come straight back in, score the goal, and get us, going again for the second half. But it's just, she's so good. She's in the right area. She's where she needs to be, and that's what we've come to know of Rio, that she will be in those areas where we needed to be. And it's just tremendous work from her, and gets us going again for the second half, and we're all buzzing for her, as everyone was. It looked like all the teammates were absolutely buzzing that she'd scored, and after the game, talking to them, they're all really excited. So it's great to see, and all good for the team. Get her back going, exactly what we need.
Yeah, and it's good that she's back on the score sheet even after what's that been about 5 games, which is probably our longest spell without a goal for us. So good to see her kind of. I think it was probably her first touch or something when she came on. So straight on back at the goals after, which is exactly what she needed after the wee break.
Absolutely. I'm not sure off the top of my head how many games it is since she scored, but she's definitely no quite looked just the same as she had it in the first part of the season. But shouldn't be forgotten. I mean, she could have easily had a couple of goals in each of the last games, but for some wonder saves by keepers. So, she's, even though she's not been playing quite on top of her game, she's still been in there and getting the chances. So the goals were always going to come again, and scoring so early after coming on, will certainly not do her confidence anyhow.
Yep, and then it was mostly us at this point, just kind of getting chance after chance, but there was some kind of hitting the woodwork. There was silly shots kind of over the bar and that, but then Mia again getting another goal. Again, kind of hard work by Sarah Ewens, and she gets the assist as she was fouled. So how she managed to get that ball to Mia after she was like fouled, pulled in, and nothing was done about it. Good advantage played by the ref, and then Mia just sticks it away as she does.
Yeah, probably the only advantage that the ref played today, because they kept blowing us on, pulling them back, but we won't talk about that. But as you say, Sarah Ewens is just absolutely bundled over by the Hibs player, but still finds a way to poke the ball to Mia, and just an unstoppable shot. There's no way the keeper's getting to that. She just absolutely rifles it into the back of the net. And most of the time her shots into the net are more controlled and more curling efforts. This one was just an absolute smash the ball straight into the back of the net, and we were hoping she was going to get another one and get a hat trick, but wasn't to be today, unfortunately. But it's just what she does, and to think she's so young and she's taking the opportunity she's been given is absolutely flying. It's just incredible. It's just another 2 great goals from her, and she's just racking them up. She must be fairly close to the top 5 goal scorers in the league now. Not looked it up, but she's got to be up there, surely.
Alan's away to check that. So whilst he's
I'm,
checking that,
I'm going to have a quick look. So
yeah. Whilst Alan's checking that, we'll just come back to. I know you were kind of wanting to give Jenna a bit of credit because she did make a couple of good saves today. Played it on the edge a couple of times where their kind of striker was running her close, but I think she had quite a good game.
She did. She had a really good game. I mean, she kept us in it in the first half. We easily could have gone in 1-1. It's an amazing save, tips it onto the bar, and then somehow we get the goal kick from it, which is incredible. The fact that she didn't say, I saved that, to the referee, but obviously she's not going to say that when, potentially could lead to a corner and they could score. But even in the second half, another great save. And I can't remember what goal it was. I think it might be in Rio's goal. It comes from her. It's a bit hairy. She's letting the Hibs defender get a bit too close, but then she plays it out from the back and then it leads to a goal. So it's nice that that's what we know she's capable of, and I think that's why I'm so critical of her, because she doesn't always play to that level. I think that's what's frustrating me, but today she had an absolute blinder of a game, and hopefully that will continue into the rest of the season and we'll go and win stuff, because she's keeping us in games and at some points even winning us games, because that could have easily gone the other way, and we don't win it because she doesn't make those saves. It's just incredible from her, and I'm really, really pleased for her that she's done that and shown everyone what she is capable of.
Against her old club as well, nonetheless. Alan, did you manage to find it if Mia's up there with the goals?
Well, it's 11 goals in the league. She's gotten 13 in total this season, so she'll keeps that up. She'll certainly be appearing in the sort of leading scorer boards that they put up. So I think the top 3 are on sort of the third place scorers on 15, I think, off the top of my head. So Mia's certainly getting into that sort of range.
Good stuff. She'll be joining the Rio Hardy up there soon. So then we went on a couple of chances and that again, and then we just made some more subs, got some minutes for Ailey and Lisa as Nick and Cathy went off for a well-deserved 4-minute break. but good to see Lisa getting some minutes. She was quite happy with that, Alan, and always good to see Ailey getting on for another young talent coming through.
Definitely, and as we said to Lisa, you know, it was nice to see her flying into tackles. You know, it's good that after some bad injuries, she's coming back and she's not got that fear of getting into tackles. You know, she's always been quite a physical defender. You know, and you don't want that edge to be taken away from your game, but it certainly doesn't look to be missing. And the more she plays, the more she'll settle into the sort of system. And on the other side, you know, Ellie done well when she came on. You know, she just looked as if she'd been playing the 90 minutes, you know, just settled straight into the team, which is always good to see.
And she did have a short card, but she probably won't want to watch that one back, will she?
Listen, on another day that goes in, because to see that space opening up, drive into it, and then take the shot on is exactly what I want to see from young players, whether they be attackers or defenders, to, you know, open up that space and take the shot. Exactly what we need. But Lisa just absolutely flying into that tackle. One of the defenders just getting ragdolled, but also ragdolling the other player at the same time is just exactly what we need. But it's nice to see when players come off the bench that it doesn't change the game at all. Like for the negative, I mean, it stays the same. They're all playing the same way as the players that were on before them. It's exactly what you want to see. But you know, one of those days, another day, that goal goes in for Ailey Austin.
And it just shows as well the confidence that she's got to just come on. We've only got 5-6 minutes to play, but she's still trying to get a goal, taking shots on, kind of taking players on in that. So it's good. It's no surprise because our youngsters are just full of confidence anyway. But good to see that kind of from her as well.
Maybe that says a lot about how much we think of Ailey, that we're disappointed she's not stuck in the top bin for 25 yards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we expect that. What she scored maybe 2 or 3 goals, and we're like, should have been another one. But there's plenty more games for her to play, so I'm sure she'll get a few more. So that the game finished just a 3-0. Alan could have been a bit more, but also they could have had a few goals as well. So kind of 3-0 was quite decent day's work for us.
I'm absolutely delighted with a 3-0 win there. It's the first I've seen us go to Meadowbank and score more than one. So, you know, very, very encouraging that we've went and made simple work of what's a very tough game against a Hibs team that's been in very good form in the last sort of couple of months. And defensively, I thought we were really good. You know, they've probably got the most informed striker in the league playing right now in Joy Bockham, and she really didn't cause us any bother. Tess, Nick and Kathy were excellent at the back, and Carl spoke about Jenna, who had done her excellent game.
Absolutely. So, Car, who was your player of the match? I think I know who you're going to say anyway.
Actually, like, it's so difficult because, like, I never thought in my life I'd be considering Jennifer player of the match, but it's not her. But like, she's up there. She genuinely is up there. I think for me, it's got to be Mia. The 2 goals, the work that she did, the tackles, finding the space, doing exactly what we needed of her. But again, it could have been any of them. Kathy was tremendous. Nick was tremendous. They were all, you know, outstanding today. Couldn't have asked for more. So it's a tight one, but it's got to be Mia for me.
I think if you'd said Jenna, Nick would be sending this to her flipped up, being like,
One
you
day.
can't over.
One day it will be, and that day will be an incredible day, and I hope it comes this season. I genuinely do.
Absolutely. Alan, player of the match?
Probably very hard to argue against Mia. You know, I thought she had a fantastic game. You know, a couple of excellent finishes, and as it said, talking about a first goal, never had any doubt. The second one, you thought she might have been maybe muscled off, but she kept her balance brilliant, you know, and a great finish. As Carl said, she's absolutely smashed it past the keeper, and on another day she might have completed a hat trick, but I thought she was the best player on the park, so I'll stick with Carl's choice and say Mia for my player of the match.
Yeah, I think I'll make a hat trick of Mia calls because she was phenomenal for the start. It's just I think that shirt's hers now. To be honest, I think it's going to take a lot for somebody else to come in and kind of take it back off her. So yeah, hers for the time being. Watch her be in the bench next week. Joe will be like, absolutely not. But
We should probably mention that Mia played the last sort of 20 minutes of the game, playing just behind Rio in the centre, so she's showing her versatility as well.
yeah, she didn't. She wasn't out of place either, so it just shows that she can play in a few positions, which is always good because if we're short of players, we need to kind of move a bit. So next up, we go back to Meadowbank and play Hibs again. This time it's in the Scottish Cup. I think this is the quarterfinals. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's a earlier kickoff, so 12 o'clock kickoff. So it works out for a change quite well with the men playing later in the day. But do you think playing today kind of does anything for the next week? Like have to kind of suss each other out, Alan, or do you think we just go into it as if it's a brand new game and just play exactly the same as we've done today?
I think very much we'll look to spend the weekend training and just say to players, listen, that's the blueprint. You know, that's exactly how the game should be going. And, you know, if you go out and put the work in and do what you did today, next week, then we should be comfortable. But we need to obviously be wary. Hibs are our threat. You know, Hibs will get plenty of very, very good players and they're well organised teams. So we need to make sure we work hard on them. And then if we do that, then our quality will come out and we'll come away with a 2 or 3 goal win.
Obviously Hibs are kind of the cups are kind of where they've had their bread and butter really for the last however many years, but not as recently because obviously we've ourselves and Celtic we put money into the game. We've obviously kind of overtook them a wee bit in terms of getting to finals and that, but this is kind of where they excelled themselves really. So do you expect many changes to the team next week considering it is a cup game, or do you think Joe kind of goes more of the same today?
I mean, I think that probably the only nailed on change, watch her not do this now, is Vic starting in goals because she seems to be the cup keeper, but genuinely watch it be Jenna next week and I'll have egg on my face. But I mean, out of all the players that we've got on the bench, I don't really know how many other changes she would make. Potentially, maybe Lizzie starting might happen, but I don't know. But today should help us in the fact that they know they can go and do it now. They can play there. They know how to do it, kind of thing. I don't think that changes because it's a cup game. Hibs may be slightly more up for it, but they were absolutely up for it today. They were kind of throwing everything they could at it. So I don't think it makes that much difference. But we have to just go out and do the same thing again and forget about this game and then just go and play our game exactly as we did today, and we should be all right.
Yeah. So Alan, do you want to do a wee score prediction for next week?
Rinse and repeat. We'll go for another 3-0. Sarah Ewens will score first goal.
Car?
I said 2-0 today. I'll stick with that. I'll go 2-0 again. I'll go Mia Macaulay again. First goal scorer.
Yeah, I was thinking of 3-0 again as well, so we'll see if it's us or Car that's right. So the tickets for that are on sale again on Fanbase. There'll probably be still quite a few left, but I would get them quite quick because that was quite busy today at Meadowbank. I think that's been the busiest we've actually seen it, and considering there's the men's game after it, might be quite busy again next week. So get your tickets and get along. Don't know if it's on TV because they seem to not have the cup games really on TV. So definitely just get along and support the team. It should be a good wee day. Alan, do you want to do the loan review?
Yeah, so we had a wee look before we done the podcast. Lucy Inman was on the bench as Queen's Park drew the day. Megan Bell was an unused sub for Hearts as he won 3-0. Mason and Becca both started for Hamilton, but the least we talk about Hamilton's game, probably better for them. They lost quite heavily against Montrose. Jenna Ferguson played for Partick. She came off the bench, played the last 20 minutes. Again, they had quite a heavy defeat. Megan was on the bench for them. And the two standouts the week for our loan players were Laura Berry and Kayla Jardine, who were excellent. I was actually at the Motherwell Spartans game and saw Motherwell win 4-1. Summer Laird, I believe, is a small injury, so wasn't involved for Spartans, but Laura Berry and Kayla Jardine were excellent for Motherwell.
Yeah, we should also just touch briefly, Car, on the fact the young team done quite well against Wales as well. Whilst the A team's not that great, the youngsters keep showing them how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we had so many players, like the young players away with the Scotland team, and they did it, incredibly well. Mia scoring, Jodie scoring, Laura Berry, I mean, it's kind of normal water is wet, Laura Berry scoring, Kayla Jardine scoring. They all link up really well together, which I think helps. So obviously we're hoping next season that the ones that are on loan come back and they can be integrated into the system and they can all play really well together. But just outstanding. They didn't quite expect it because I don't know how good the Wales under-19s team is, so I didn't know what to expect, but I assumed Wales would be quite good, but we just beat them both games quite handsomely with no real issues, which is always good to see. So we won't talk about the main Scotland team, but Rachel Rowe's team did really well, Wales did really well, so it's always good to see the young team and the internationals doing well on a wee break. But hopefully we can just get this month done and then we can think about that again in another day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Alan, I'm assuming because you were pretty much just in the door before we done this, that you've not have had a look at the score predictor. So, like a few surprise scores in there, but we'll need to find out later how we've done.
Definitely a few surprise scores, so I don't expect it to be a record-setting week in terms of scores. I'm pretty sure from memory there will be at least some 7-pointers in there. I'll be amazed if I go back and double check and nobody's actually had us winning 3-0, but I'll try and get that updated after my trip and I'll post it midweek. There's no score predictor for the Cup next week, so we've got a wee bit extra grace to get that updated.
Sounds good. So, yep, next week, back at Hibs, back at Meadowbank. Hopefully see you there. And as always, thank you to Alan and Car for joining me this evening.
Thanks, Laura. Good as always.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you very much. See you next time.